So I wanted to introduce you guys to the case studies. You will have 4 case studies that are part of your graded assignments for this course. The first case study is on dietary guidelines in week 2. The second case study is in week 3, which is on the Mediterranean diet. Your third case study is week 4, which is on diabetes. And then your final case study is in week 7, which is on weight management. This is also the program where you are going to be learning about the Nutrition Cal program, and you will also be using that for your nutrition project at the end. So let's dive in. To get to the Nutrition Cal information, you can go 2 ways. You can either go directly here through the case study, or you can go through the Connect McGraw-Hill link. Let's go through the case study. Okay, so you're going to complete the assignment, and remember, yours is going to look a little bit different than mine. So you're going to launch the assignment, and it'll take you into familiar territory, which is the McGraw-Hill Connect program. When you get there, remember, I'm only in preview mode, but yours will look very similar. Each case study is 10 questions. And part of the case study is entering data, like you are a nutritionist, a dietitian. You will be analyzing your patients, in other words. So for case study number 1 on dietary guidelines, we're going to be doing Jenna here. She is a 34-year-old female nursing mom who is wanting to lose weight. So we're going to be doing her case study and answering these questions about her we're going to be analyzing her dietary intake. So the first thing you would want to do is go ahead and read through the case study here. You will also see with part of our textbook here, our textbook that we're using is going to be revised over the summer. So summer 26, we'll be having a new textbook with the updated dietary guidelines. As you have understood with the lectures for chapter 1 and 2, the My Plate and the traditional dietary guidelines for Americans has since been updated as of January 26th. And come summer of 26, the textbook will be revamped. So that's why you see some of this updated information. That won't hinder your understanding of the dietary guidelines or doing nutritional analysis. So once you read through everything, you're going to click here for the Nutrition Cal access. So hang on, because I'm the instructor, I have to get through it a different way. I will also show you how to get through it or get to it, excuse me. You will be able to click this link here. It'll take you directly to it. If it does not, you can always get through it, or get to it through the dashboard here on your McGraw-Hill Connect program. And it is right here, Nutrition Calc Plus. So we will click on that, and it brings you to the Nutrition Calc dashboard here. This is where you will be doing your case studies and your nutrition project. So first place we want to go is go here to profiles, and you are going to click on profile here, and you are going to want to enter Jenna's information. Okay, so profiles, create a new profile. If you don't have any, it'll take you directly to create a profile. And so this is where we will enter your patient's information. Okay, Jenna, 34 years old, 5'8", 165 pounds. Okay, all of that you will enter here. Jenna, her birthday, her gender, her height, her weight, everything that the case study gives you, even her activity level. I have already created a profile for Jenna, so I will show you here what it looks like once you get all the information put in. Okay, her goals, all of that is clearly stated here in the case study. Okay, so all the information you're going to need is here in the case study. Once you get Jenna's profile in, make sure you save it. Okay, make sure you save it. That's very important. And then you'll be able to access it again under profiles. Okay. Once you enter in all of the data, or for her profile, let's now look at her intakes. Okay. This is where the case studies can take a little bit of time. So my recommendation is this first one, it probably will take you about an hour. Okay. So plan ahead. But once you get it down and once you understand exactly what you're doing and learn the program, it's going to be pretty quick. So we are now to the process of entering Jenna's information, her nutrition information. So day 1, this is what she ate. Breakfast, a bagel, an egg bagel, 4 inches. She only ate 1. 2 tablespoons of cream cheese. So let's enter that into her nutrition profile. My recommendation is that you enter it exactly like it gives you or tells you on the case study. It'll save you a whole lot of time. Okay. So bagel, egg, 4 inches. Bagel, egg. There we go. Bagel, egg, 4 inches. Okay. And we want to add that item now. We have successfully added her bagel. And there it is. She only had 1. Let's do another one. Okay, her next cream cheese. Okay. Fast entry. Hold on. Search. Might help if I hit the right button. USDA cream cheese, just like you saw on the case study. USDA cream cheese right here. Okay. USDA cream cheese. Let's click on that. And then we're going to add the correct serving size. Okay. 2 tablespoons. We want to add it. Exactly how much do we want to add? She had 2 tablespoons. And this is going to be important. Make sure you add it to the correct breakfast, lunch, and dinner column, because later on we'll be analyzing certain meals. Okay. So we see here for breakfast, we have her breakfast entered. Bagel, an egg bagel, 4 inches, 2 tablespoons of cream cheese. All right. So you'll go through that step for each one of these. Like I said, please, it will save you a lot of time if you don't just search hot dog, okay? Type it in exactly how it's stated here and make sure you get the USDA item. When it comes to your specific nutrition analysis for your nutrition project, this is when you can do specific searches, okay, like generic Cheerios or raw broccoli versus frozen broccoli, that kind of thing. Okay. So we will do another video related to the nutrition project, but these case studies, especially this first one, allow some time to kind of play around with the program. It's kind of neat, and you'll find they do have a lot of foods in here. And this program is very similar to what professional dietitians use in clinical practice. Once you have both days' meals, or excuse me, both days' food intake in her profile, then you are going to look at the reports. Okay, so once you have her intake and you have it all saved and you have both days of her intake, this is where you are going to want to do look at her report. Specifically, each question will ask you for specific days. Okay, and that is what I want there. View report. There we go. Okay. So I know I went through that kind of fast. So let me go back quick. So you'll select her profile, Jenna, and we're going to have several different cases. So make sure you name them, case study 1, case study 2, that kind of thing. Once you have her profile pulled up, click reports, and it'll take you to the multiple optional reports for the Nutrition Cal program. We'll be using most of these throughout the 4 case studies. For your nutrition project later on, you'll have to do the nutrition facts report, the daily report, and I think a spreadsheet report. I forget exactly which ones I had you do, but I don't think I did a bar graph, but sometimes students really get into it a lot and they end up printing them all. So when you go to print a report or save a report or look at a report, make sure you put your name here, okay, in the course and save it. And once you get multiple days, you can select specifically which day, which meal, okay, and this is why it's important to do breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And then here you are. You have, let me scroll back up here to the top. This is Jenna, all of her information that we've put in, and every single food that she has eaten with the correct serving size, the date that she had it, and the daily totals. Now, please do not freak out when you see that this report is like 10 pages, okay? It is a vast amount of information. We will be looking at specific small chunks of it, okay? But it is kind of fun. If you're a numbers person like I am, you will love it. And if not, that's okay. So you see, it'll give you the calories, the calories from fat, calories from saturated fat. It will give you total grams of protein, total grams of carb, grams of sugar, added sugar, fiber, and so on and so forth. All of these are specific macro and micronutrients we will be looking at over the next 8 weeks in this course. So you might not know what a lot of these mean right now, but once we go through the specific chapters, you will understand more of what this report is telling you. But for right now, what do we do with that report? This is where we get down to answering your particular questions. Okay, once you have the report, and you see here, right here, step 4, it'll tell you use the spreadsheet report to answer the following 10 multiple choice questions. I am not asking you to print anything. I'm just asking you to answer the questions, okay? So for right here, we'll do the first one together. Question number 1. The Dietary Guidelines for Americans recommends limiting saturated fat intake to less than 10% of your total calories. On this spreadsheet report, locate the columns for saturated fat and calories. Calculate the percentage for calories from saturated fat for each of the 2 days. How does the percentage of calories from saturated fat on day 1 compare to day 2 of our patient Jenna? So where do we find this information? We need saturated fat and calories. So let's go back here to the report. Oh, right there. Saturated fat in calories and calories. And if you remember the question, it's asking, let's compare day 1 to day 2. So let's do that. Let's scroll down now that we know which columns. Okay, let's scroll down here to the bottom. And this is our day one total. I entered Jenna's data on January 19th. Your dates will be a little different. So this is my day one total. And you see here, total calories from saturated fat was 246. Total calories for the day was 1955. So how do we do the math? You take the 247, we'll round up calories from saturated fat divided by the total calories, 1955, and that gives us roughly about 13%. Okay, do the math. Then we will do the same thing for day two. Remember, because the question was asking, let's compare day one to day two, right? Okay. And so our day one had 13 percent. When we did the math with our day two, it had about 8%. So the correct answer here would be the second option. Day one contains 13% and day two contains 8% of total calories from fat. Yours will not have the calculations here, but once you do because yours is a little different than mine, once you do the math and answer your specific questions, it'll automatically submit, and then you will have your case study one completed. Not all of them are going to be quite so labor intensive. Like I said, some look specifically at certain nutrients. Remember, we have a case study. This one's on dietary guidelines where you'll be looking only at that spreadsheet report. It asks us which specific, we'll be looking at sodium on the spreadsheet report. We'll be looking at calcium on the spreadsheet report. So it's looking at specific, it looks at fiber. So it's looking at specific macro and micronutrients for Jen. I think you'll have fun with it. I really do. The case studies are really deep dive into the whole reason why we do nutrition and dietetics to improve overall health. And Jenna is a very good example of um, a typical patient wanting to improve themselves, wanting to lose weight, wanting to eat healthier, wanting to prevent disease. So, kind of the whole reason why we have this nutrition course. Please email me if you have any questions related to the case study or anything related to the course. I am here to help you. Thank you.